You know, when you look at Wawel Hill in Kraków, you're not just seeing some old castle or a cathedral. Not at all. You're looking at the national sanctuary of Poland, a symbol that tells the entire story of a nation, from its mythical beginnings all the way to its modern identity. So let's dive in and figure out how this one single hill became the very soul of Poland.
And that really is the core question we're tackling today. How does that happen? It's a journey that takes us through epic legends, immense royal power, stunning artistic triumphs, and just incredible endurance. The story of Wawel is, in a way, the story of Poland itself, all packed onto this one limestone hill overlooking the Vistula River.
Okay, so to understand Wawel, we have to go way back. I mean, before there were any kings, before a single stone wall was built. Wawel was a place of myth. Long before anyone was writing things down, this hill was already known as a place of ancient power. And its origin story? Well, it all starts with a pretty fearsome beast.
Now, this isn't just some random fairy tale. It's the foundational myth of Kraków itself. The legend goes that this dragon, Smoke Wawelski, lived in a cave right at the foot of the hill. And it was terrorizing everybody until the heroic Prince Krakus came along, outsmarted the beast, and defeated it. And for his troubles, he got to found his city, Kraków, right on top of the dragon's old lair.
And here's where it gets really cool, a perfect example of how myth and reality just blend together at Wawel. For centuries, these massive bones you see hanging by the cathedral entrance, people genuinely believed they were the remains of the dragon. Now, of course, today we know they're actually from a mammoth and a whale from the Ice Age, but it doesn't matter, right? There's still this incredible physical link to those ancient legends that you can feel all around the castle walls.
So, how do we get from a dragon's lair to the political and spiritual heart of an entire kingdom? Well, that's the next chapter in our story, Wawel's rise as the royal seat.
Pretty quickly, Wawel took on this crucial dual role. Starting way back in the 10th century, it became both a fortified home for the royals and Poland's most important religious center. The big moment, though, was the grand Gothic cathedral built in the 14th century. That really cemented its status. Think about it. From 1320 on, every single Polish monarch was crowned right here, and most of them were buried here, too. It made Wawel the absolute, undeniable center of the Polish universe.
But as incredible as that was, Wawel's most glorious transformation was still on the horizon. We're talking the early 16th century, during Poland's golden age. This old medieval fortress was about to be completely reborn as one of the most magnificent Renaissance palaces in all of Europe.
So who was the driving force behind all this? It was King Sigismund I, also known as the Old. See, he'd spent time in Hungary and had seen the Renaissance firsthand. Plus, his wife, the very ambitious Italian-born Bona Sforza, was a huge influence. So what did he do? He basically imported the top architects and artists straight from Florence to bring that cutting-edge style right to Kraków.
And wow, just look at the results. You've got this stunning three-tiered courtyard with these beautiful archways. It's just a masterpiece of light and harmony. And then there's the famous golden dome of the Sigismund Chapel. This wasn't just a simple makeover. This was a powerful political statement. It was Poland declaring its cultural and political might, all reimagined by masters like Bartolomeo Berretti. Let's just zero in on that chapel for a second. It is widely considered the purest, most perfect example of Renaissance architecture you can find anywhere north of the Alps. I mean, outside of Italy itself. It was built as a mausoleum, a burial chapel for Sigismund's dynasty, and it's this perfect little world of artistic expression that just set a whole new standard for art across the entire region. But the Golden Age wasn't just about stone and marble. Oh no, the king also commissioned another incredibly powerful symbol of the nation's prestige, one whose voice would literally ring out across the centuries.
It was a statement forged in bronze, and it all starts with this number, 13. That's right, 13 tons. That is the colossal weight of the Royal Sigismund Bell, which was cast way back in 1520. Just an absolute marvel of faith and engineering for its time.
And then you've got this number, 12. That's how many bell ringers it takes to ring this massive bell. Even today, it takes 12 people. And when it rings, that deep voice connects modern Poland directly to its golden age. It only rings on the most important national and religious holidays. But of course, golden ages don't last forever, do they? After all that splendor, Wawel entered some really tough times, centuries of neglect and hardship. But here's the thing, even as the actual building started to crumble, its power as a symbol only grew stronger. See,
When the royal court packed up and moved to Warsaw, Wawel's fate took a pretty dark turn. Then, Poland was partitioned by its neighbors, and the castle fell under Austrian control. And what did they do? They turned it into military barracks. I mean, what a disgrace. But paradoxically, for the Polish people, this desecration actually made Wawel an even more powerful symbol of their lost independence. It became the sacred place that held the memory of their nation's greatness and the hope that one day it would be reborn.
And that rebirth? It finally came in the 20th century. After Poland finally regained its independence, a massive national effort got underway to restore Wawel to its former glory, and to figure out its new role in a modern era.
So today, Wawel has been completely reborn. It's not a home for kings anymore, it's something so much more profound. It's a world-class museum, a national pantheon where Poland's greatest heroes are laid to rest, and of course, it's a treasure for all of humanity as a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
You know, there's a quote that says, Wawel is a microcosm of Polish history and culture, and that just hits the nail on the head. Inside those walls, you find everything. You've got myth, faith, Renaissance genius, the scars of really hard times, and that incredible enduring pride of survival. It's not just a place where history happened, it is the living, breathing heart of Polish identity.
And that kind of leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? Every country, every culture has a place like this, a spot where all its history, its culture, and its soul seem to come together. The story of Wawel is, of course, uniquely Polish. But that idea, the idea of a single place holding the memory of an entire nation, that's universal. So, what place tells your nation's story?